have even more. Let's take a pause now for the national anthem. Olympians won the opening toss, and the Olympians didn't win the opening toss. Thousand Oaks won it. The Olympians will be kicking off. They'll be defending the gold to the east, and Thousand Oaks obviously, the Olympians will be defending the western goal in the first quarter, and they'll make their offensive threat towards the eastern goal. Hey, Corey, how's the sound with all this horn blowing? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Good enough. And we're underway. There's Angel Andrade's kickoff. It's going to be taken by number 24. Number 24 heads to the middle of the field. He's brought down in a hurry by number 53 for the Olympians. For the Olympians, that was Billy Baldus. And of course, we saw Billy have an excellent game last week against Ventura. And he starts off this game the same way. Folks, I don't need to tell you that in the playoffs is one game and out. So obviously the Olympian faithful are really pumped up tonight, hoping to push their team into a semifinal matchup. On the opening play of the game, there's a handoff that goes around the right side. Looks like it's going to lose yardage on the play. So the defense, which played so very well last week in containing Buena to only 6 points offensively, they dropped the Thousand Oaks running back for a loss on the play. Makes it a 2nd down and 11 now. If you just joined us, the contest is just underway. This is the Leuzinger Olympians opposing the Lancers from Thousand Oaks. Once again, they keep it on the ground this time. The handoff goes around the right side. The guy's got some running room, and he's going to be finally dragged down by a host of Olympians out near his own 45-yard line. They're going to spot it officially at the 44-yard line. That gives the Lancers a 1st down. Marvin Johnson in on the hit for the Olympians. And let me say right off the top, fans, when you get into playoff competition, we don't know a lot about the teams that we play, and the same holds true tonight. There's not a whole lot I can tell you about this Lancer team, except for the fact that they came into tonight's game with a overall record of 10-0-1, and they were the #1 team in the Marmont League. So that should tell you something in and of itself. They're obviously a very, very good football team, and the Olympians have their work cut out for them tonight. Makes it a 2nd down and 10 now for the Lancers. The quarterback drops back to pass, and he's going to be sacked. In on the sack for the Olympians was Charlie Gonzalez. It's going to make it a 3rd down and 17 now for the Lancers. They spot the ball just outside the 35-yard line, closer to the 36-yard line. Just to pass along some injury information that I received from one of our inside sources at Leuzinger. They tell us that Vernell Williams, who had been subbing at running back for the Olympians, is out with the chicken pox. And of course, for a team that's been snake bitten most of the season, to lose another player this time of the year certainly doesn't help. Offside penalty against the Olympians. Looked like number 43, Charlie Gonzalez, jumped offside. That'll give them 5 yards out of the 18 they needed for a 1st down, so it still makes it a 3rd and 13. Third and 13 for the Lancers. Their quarterback, Scott Peterson, brings them up. He pitches the ball back to number 33. He comes around the left side. He's got some running room, but he's going to be short of the 1st down as he crosses the midfield stripe. As a matter of fact, they spot him just outside the midfield stripe at his own 49. He needed to get to the Leuzinger 46. So it's going to be a 4th down for the Lancers. The Olympians look to get their first opportunity offensively tonight. And what a nice, pleasant night it is to be down here in the South Bay. Great, great football weather. Slight breeze in the air, but not enough to affect the ball game. Here's the punch snap. Here's the kick. It's up. And looked like they may have been. Number 19, Donnell Bird, brings it back for the Olympians. Brings it outside the 20-yard line. Looks like it's going to be at about the 25. The momentary hesitation there, folks, was for the fact that number 53, Billy Balders for the Olympians, did run into the kicker for Thousand Oaks. The official took a look at it, decided contact was incidental, and didn't throw the flag. Quite a big break on that play for the Olympians. Now the Olympians go on offense for the first time with 8:32 left in the first quarter. Zach Odom, the quarterback, drops back to pass, throws in the flat to number 83. Picks up a few yards on the play for the Olympians. That's David Felix. David, if you don't know, is a 6'1", 184-pound senior. David isn't a name that we've called often this season, but with the injuries that the Olympians have suffered throughout the course of the season, they've had to play a number of players that haven't normally played. But they've been up to the task every time. This time, Zach Odom hands off to Manny Gonzalez around the left side. Gonzalez only picks up maybe a yard on the play. It's going to make it a 3rd down and 1 for the Olympians now. This being their first offensive attempt of the night. Donnell Bird comes in for the Olympians now as number 33, Kenny Parks, goes off. It's going to be inches short of a first down. Makes it a 3rd and very short for the Olympians. Ball spotted at the 35-yard line. Play like this, the Olympians normally keep the ball on the ground. They come up to the line of scrimmage in a T formation. Backfield consists of Zach Odom, Manny Gonzalez. And you can't see from here, Zach Odom keeps it himself, calls his own number, and he picks up the first down.
Number 63, Bassam Khadija.
Okay, so the backfield consists of Manny Gonzalez and Charlie Gonzalez. Manny Gonzalez, number 44, Charlie, number 43. Charlie gets the call. He heads around the left side. It's going to be stopped after a very short game, maybe a yard. The Lancer defense very prompt in stringing the play out and getting to the point of attack. Charlie Gonzalez comes off now. And the backfield will consist of Marvin Johnson and Manny Gonzalez along with Zach Odom at quarterback. On a 2nd and 8, Zach Odom drops back to pass, pulls it down, calls his own number. It's going to be stopped after a very short game. Looks like he just got back to the original line of scrimmage.
Dropped for a coverage sack, pick up perhaps half a yard. It'll be 3rd down and still 7 yards to go. The ball is resting.
It's going to be 3rd and 7 for the Olympians now, as the ball is still spotted at the 40-yard line. We've got 6:22 to go in the first quarter. Scoreless contest. Leuzinger Olympians taking on the visiting Lancers from Thousand Oaks High School, Thousand Oaks, California. Let's see what kind of 3rd down play the Olympians come up with this time. Once again in the backfield, Charlie Gonzalez, Manny Gonzalez, Zach Odom. Odom hands off on the inside to Charlie Gonzalez. He's got the first down as he gets out near the 50-yard line. They'll probably spot it officially at the 49. Excellent play calling by the Olympians. Quick inside draw to Charlie Gonzalez. Picks up the necessary yardage, and the Olympians keep their opening offensive drive alive. And I got to tell you, folks, we've got a lot more fans out tonight for this playoff contest than we normally see for a regular season game. But the fans, of course, all realize the importance of these playoff games. Once again, they keep it on the ground. Charlie Gonzalez gets the call, picks up about 3 yards on the carry. And, of course, the visiting Lancers brought down quite a crowd themselves tonight. They're well represented, and, of course, I'm sure that will be a great source of inspiration for their players, just as it was last week when we were up at Ventura High. And, man, when you're 75 miles away from home and you can look over on your side of the field and see a good 100 or so fans, that's got to warm your heart a whole lot. Once again, the Olympians keep it on the ground, handing off to Charlie Gonzalez. I think they've about got Charlie's number figured out. Once again, he picks up nothing on the play. Makes it a 3rd down and 6 now for the Olympians. Ball spotted at the 48-yard line of the Lancers. 3rd down and 7 for the Olympians. Second time they faced a 3rd down situation tonight. Last time they were successful by heading the ball off to Charlie Gonzalez. Let's see what the play is this time. Here's a snap. Zach Odom drops back the pass and looks past. Zach's rolling out. Needs to get rid of it. He throws it down the side. And it's incomplete. Pass intended for number 19, Donnell Bird. Brings up a 4th and 6 for the Olympians now. 4th down and 6 for the Olympians. We see Angel Andrade coming on the field for the punt. Dropping back for Thousand Oaks is number 21. That's Jim Magallanes. And number 32 is Chad Tomlinson. Angel Andrade will be punting from his own 40-yard line. As he steps up, it's going to be an awfully short punt. Let's hope it takes a Leuzinger bounce. And it bounds out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. Let's call it 32 officially. So with 4:08 to go in the first quarter, scoreless contest. The Lancers from Thousand Oaks go on offense for the second time tonight from their own 32-yard line. There on your screen, you see Quan Banks, the injured wide receiver for the Olympians, who hasn't had an opportunity to play much this season due to a severe knee injury. Number 33 gets the call, and he sprints wide right. Looks like he's going to pick up about 5 yards on the play, maybe even 6. Mike Lindsay, the carrier for them. Mike Lindsay, 5'11", 177-pound senior for the Lancers. Makes it a 2nd down and 4 now for the Lancers. This is their second offensive attempt in the first quarter. We've got a scoreless contest. Once again, to keep the ball on the ground. This is number 44 for them. He's got some running room. He's going to pick up the first down and then some as he crosses the 50-yard line into Leuzinger territory at about the 47-yard line of the Olympians. That was Chris Foster. Makes it a 1st and 10 for Thousand Oaks. They spot the ball officially at the Leuzinger 48-yard line. First down play out of I formation. They keep it on the ground once again, handing the ball off to Mike Lindsay.
Power blast at left tackle picks up about 3 yards. Stopped again by number 56. Great time. It'll be 2nd down, about 7 yards to go.
They give Lindsay 3 yards on the carry. Makes it a 2nd down and 7 from the 45-yard line. Ball inside the 45. Not quite at the 44. 2:35 to go in the first quarter. Contest still scoreless. This time out of a T formation, the quarterback Peterson fakes the handoff and hits the pass to number 33, and he's got some running room. He may go all the way. Doesn't look like he's going to be stopped. Touchdown, Thousand Oaks at the 2:22 mark. A 48-yard touchdown pass to number 33, Mike Lindsay. And Thousand Oaks goes on top first.
Into attempt the conversion, number 15, Jason Ibarra.
And the kick is blocked. Extra point attempt blocked by the Olympians. So the score remains 6-0. And that was a critical extra point attempt that was blocked by the Olympian defense. So they salvage a little something out of it, and the crowd gives them a big, big hand. That's one of the loudest cheers I've ever seen a team get for blocking the extra point attempt. So the Olympians go back in their receiving formation. Zach Odom is back to receive for the Olympians, along with Courtney Overton. One of the few times this season we've seen Zach back to receive. The kickoff goes to Overton. Overton comes back to the middle of the field. He's got some running room, and he brings the ball out to about the 25-yard line. Excellent return by Courtney Overton. Return of about 25 yards. First and 10 for the Olympians. 2:09 to go in the first quarter. They're trailing by a score of 6-0. Thousand Oaks jumped on top with a 48-yard touchdown pass to Lindsay from their quarterback Peterson. The Olympians blocked the extra point attempt, and that was a big, big block by the Olympians. Now, Manny Gonzalez goes around the left side, picks up about 3 yards on the play. Had some daylight, but the hole quickly closed. It's a good opportunity to mention to you fans that the Olympians are the only South Bay team, Bay League team, I should say, left in the 1989 CIF playoffs, as Palos Verdes, Santa Monica, and Hawthorne were all defeated last week. So the Olympians are holding up the pride of the Bay League tonight. Zach Odom calls a keeper, picks up maybe a yard on the play. It's going to make it a third down for the Olympians. Third, and looks like it may be four. They're officially calling it no gain, so it'll be a 3rd down and 5 for the Olympians now. Third down play, throws out in the flat to number 3 as a flag on the play. Looks like it's going to be close to the first down, but let's see what the flag's about.
Number 3, Marvin Johnson. There is a penalty flag on the play.
It's close to a first down, but more importantly, there's some laundry on the field, and the laundry is yellow. Illegal procedure against the Olympians. So that's going to make it a 3rd down and 10 now for the Olympians. Field announcer is calling it 3rd and 9, so we'll call it the same. No use making it any harder than it needs to be. 3rd and 9 for the Olympians now. They need to get the ball out to about the 37, let's call it the 38-yard line for a first down. Big 3rd down play coming up for the Olympians. 3rd and 9. Out of the I formation. Zach Odom fakes the handoff. Here comes the pass. He's got a receiver, and it's caught. First down for the Olympians. It's caught by number 10, Burt Best. And that's going to bring the ball out near the midfield stripe. Nice sideline pattern run by the Olympians. Zach Odom gets the ball to Burt Best. They get a first down, and now they move inside Thousand Oaks territory to the Thousand Oaks 48-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Olympians from the 48-yard line. This time out of the T formation. Zach Odom fakes the inside handoff, calls his own number, turns it upfield, but he's going to be stopped, maybe for a loss on the play. Well, one thing I can tell you folks about the Thousand Oaks team, although we know very little about them, they've got a good defensive front four. They give excellent pursuit to the football, and they're pretty doggone big from the way they look from up here. And that ends 1 quarter of play. And after 1 quarter, our Leuzinger Olympians trail by a score of 6-0 to the Lancers from Thousand Oaks High School. Just to recap the first quarter scoring for you, the Lancers scored at the 2:22 mark of the first quarter on a 48-yard touchdown pass from their quarterback Peterson to the wide receiver Lindsay. Their extra point attempt was blocked by the Olympians, which they received a thunderous ovation for. Now the Olympians move offensively to the western goal. They keep it on the ground, giving it off to Manny Gonzalez. And Gonzalez is stopped for no gain on the play. Makes it a 3rd down and 10 for the Olympians now. Ball spotted at the 48-yard line. And the Olympians have faced 3rd down an awful lot of times tonight. And they've been successful an awful lot of times tonight. Well, let's see if they can do it one more time from the 48-yard line of the Lancers. Zach Odom brings them up the line of scrimmage, this time out of a T formation. Passes over the middle, and it's complete. Pass to number 3, Marvin Johnson. And that's another 1st down for the Olympians. This time the ball's at the 31-yard line of the Lancers. We've just started the 3rd quarter. We'll see on your replay monitor here, Zach Odom slant pass to Marvin Johnson. Here you see Odom dropping back, looking right. Marvin Johnson with the catch. Number 45 for the Thousand Oaks Lancers on the stop. It's not listed in our program. This time they hand the ball off to Charlie Gonzalez, and he's got some running room. Picks up a good 8 yards on the carry.
About 8 yards down across the 25 to about the 22-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and 2.
Makes it a 2nd down and 2 for the Olympians, as the ball is spotted at about the 23-yard line. Second and 2 for the Olympians. Donnell Bird, number 19, goes out wide right. Backfield consists of Manny Gonzalez and Charlie Gonzalez. Once again, Charlie Gonzalez gets the call. This time it looks like it's going to be stopped short of the 1st down.
By number 34, David Acosta.
Makes it a 3rd down and 1 for the Olympians.
Short of the 20-yard line.
3rd and 1 for the Olympians. Ball at about the 22-yard line. They need to get to the 21 for the 1st down. You can almost be sure this time the Olympians are going to run the ball. Backfield out of the I formation consists of number 44, Manny Gonzalez, the up back. Number 43, Charlie Gonzalez, the deep back. They hand it off to Manny, and Manny picks up the 1st down as he breaks across the 20-yard line.
More than enough for the 1st down on the stop of the Lancers. Number 42, Lance Martin. It'll be Leuzinger's ball. 1st down, 10 yards to go. The ball appears to be on about the Thousand Oaks 19-yard line.
Ball is spotted at what would appear to be the 19-yard line of the Lancers. 1st and 10 for the Olympians. 9:04 to go in the 1st half. Once again, Manny Gonzalez gets the call, picks up good yardage on the play before he's finally brought down.
About 4 yards on the stop for
Makes it a second down and what would appear to be a long 6 for the Olympians.
Very close to the 15-yard line.
2nd and 6 for the Olympians. Second quarter action, 8:40 to go. Olympians trailing by a score of 6-0, but they're threatening. Looks like there was a mix-up on the handoff. Zach Odom and Manny Gonzalez bumped into each other on the counter trap play. And that's going to be stopped for no gain. It's going to make it a 3rd and 6 for the Olympians now.
6 yards to go.
3rd and 6, and this would appear to be, this time, a passing situation for the Olympians. Third and 6 for the Olympians. Odom fakes the inside handoff. He pulls it down. He's going for Donnell Bird in the end zone. Incomplete.
Zach Odom's pass intended for wide receiver Don Bird in the end zone.
Donnell Bird receiving triple coverage on the play. Brings up a 4th and 6 for the Olympians, and that's going to bring on Angel Andrade for a field goal attempt. Angel Andrade was 1 for 4 last week, but the one that he did hit was a big field goal for the Olympians. It was a part of the margin of difference as the Olympians won by a score of 10-0. Let's see if being back on his home field makes a difference for Angel tonight. There's the kick. It's up, and it's good. It's good. Makes it 6-3. The officials took a long time to make that call, but when they finally made it, they gave the good signal. That makes it 6-3. The Olympians still trailing by 3, but it's good to be on the scoreboard at the 7:47 mark. Angel Andrade with a 32-yard field goal.
The Leuzinger scoring drive took 10 plays and covered 74 yards. The final scoring thrust, a 30-yard field goal off the toe of senior kicker Angel Andrade. Kicking off for the Olympians will be Andrade, and deep receive for the Lancers will be number 24, Ron Cruz. And number 33, Mike Lindsay.
So it looks like Angel Andrade has the touch tonight. After going 1 for 4 last week, he converts on his first attempt and he draws the Olympians closer. Here's Andrade's kickoff, taken by number 24. Hits back to the middle of the field, and he's brought down by a host of Olympians.
Returns it about to the 16 where he stopped by number 30.
On the return for Thousand Oaks was number 24, Ron Cruz.
First down, 10 yards to go on the Thousand Oaks, about 16-yard line.
They spot the ball at the 16-yard line of the Lancers. So from there, 7:34 to go in the first half. Thousand Oaks operating from their own 16-yard line. 1st and 10 out of the I formation. They keep it on the ground, and Manny Gonzalez and a host of Olympians are in to make the stop after a very short game. Makes it a 2nd down and 9 now for the Lancers. Ball spotted at their 17-yard line. We've got a 6-3 contest. Our own Leuzinger Olympians coming into the contest with an overall record of 8-2-1. Number 3 in the Bay League, taking on the number 1 team from the Marmont League, the 10-0-1 Thousand Oak Lancers. Once again, they keep the ball on the ground, and they pick up about 6 yards on the play. It's going to make it a 3rd down and what would appear to be about 3 yards. Clock's rolling as we approach the 6:30 mark of the second quarter.
And about 3 yards to go.
And it is a 3rd and 3. Big defensive play coming up for the Olympians. And last week, I got to tell you, folks, if you weren't there, the defense played admirably. On several occasions, they stopped the Bulldogs from Buena on 3rd down situations. Let's see if they can rise to the task tonight. 3rd and 3. Here's the play. Here's the pitch back to number 31, and he's hit. Let's see if he made it, though. He got good forward progress, and it looks like he did pick up the 1st down. And they give the official signal. It is a 1st down. The defense got there, but they got there a yard short.
For about 4 yards, and a 1st down on the tackle for the Olympians. Number 53, Bill Baldus.
1st down for the Lancers.
Ball on the
Ball spotted at about the 28-yard line. We've got 6 minutes to go in the half, folks. Leuzinger trails by a score of 6-3. Once again, to keep the ball on the ground. This time, the runner goes around left side, picks up about 3 yards, maybe 4 on the play. For them, that was number 33, Mike Lindsay.
On a sweep at left end, dropped by number 56, Grady Hines, and number 35, Courtney Overton, pick up about 6 yards. It'll be
Courtney Overton and Greg Hines in on the stop for the Olympians. We see Charlie Gonzalez coming off for the Olympians, and Ernesto Mahade is going on. On the 2nd down and 5 out of the I formation, they look to go to the air. There's a pass, and it's completed to number 45. Once again, number 45 isn't in the program.
Out to the 46-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Thousand Oaks at that point. On the stop for the Olympians, number 1, Zach Odom.
Number 45 is Scott Barkman. He was listed in the program, folks, as number 20. So make that correction, won't you? Number 45, Scott Barkman. Another 1st and 10 for the Lancers. On the 1st down play, they hand off to the inside to number 33, Lindsay. Lindsay comes around the right side, picks up what might be enough for the 1st down.
Sprint draw to the short side, brings the ball out across midfield, pick up about 11 yards. 1st down for the Lancers in Leuzinger territory. On the stop for the Olympians, number 76, John Guilfoyle.
And that is enough for a 1st down for the Lancers. Ball spotted at the Leuzinger 48-yard line, let's call it. 1st and 10 for the Lancers. Last time the Lancers were 48 yards away, they connected for a touchdown play. Just time to keep the ball on the ground, handing off to number 44. Picks up good yardage on the play, about 6 yards. Makes it what should be a 2nd down, about 3, maybe 4 for the Lancers.
About 5 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 5. The ball is on the 43-yard line. Timeout, Leuzinger.
And Leuzinger takes a timeout here. Coach Carnes is a little concerned about the defensive effort on the last couple of downs for the Olympians as they have allowed the Lancers to bite off big chunks of real estate against them. We've got 4:12 to go in the 1st half. Leuzinger Olympians trailing by a score of 6-3 to the visiting Lancers from Thousand Oaks High School. While we've got a moment, let's talk about the rest of the playoff picture. If Leuzinger is successful tonight, they would play the winner of the San Marcos Muir game. And of course, San Marcos, a team that came into the contest against Hawthorne with a 5-5 record, upset the Cougars, who went into that contest with the record of 9-1. So if that says anything about records, then certainly the Olympians have a better than fair chance tonight. And on the quarterback keeper, Peterson goes around the left side. Looks like he's going to pick up the 1st down.
On the sprint out, quarterback Scott Peterson, 3 yards, stops on the play. Number 35, Courtney Overton, short of 1st down, yardage by about 8 yards. 3rd down.
It's going to be a 3rd and 1 for the Lancers. Peterson's about a yard short of the 1st down. Another critical 3rd down play for the Leuzinger defense coming up. 3:35 to go in the 1st half. They're trailing by a score of 6-3. 3rd down play, they keep it on the ground to number 44, and he may be stopped. I don't think he got it. This will depend on the spot. They give it to him. 1st down. Looked like the Leuzinger defense got to the point of attack, but the officials say his forward progress got him the 1st down. So it's a 1st down for the Lancers now. Ball spotted at the Leuzinger 37-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Lancers from the Leuzinger 37. Out of the I formation. And this time on an inside handoff. They hand it off to number 42, and he's finally brought down after he gets caught in a mix-up with one of his own blockers.
42, Lance Martin carries the ball down inside the 25-yard line for a pickup of about 14 yards.
It's going to be another first down for the Olympians, though, as Thousand Oaks picked up 14 yards on the play.
First down, 10 yards to go on the 24-yard line.
Ball spotted at the 24-yard line of the Olympians. 2:35 now to go in the first half. The Olympians trying to keep the margin down. Once again, to keep it on the ground. Excellent hit by the Olympians that time. That looks like it was number 53, Billy Baldus, in on the tackle, and that was. Also in on the tackle was number 61, Jonas Woodring. Second down and 8 for the Lancers now. No, this time the defense sacks the quarterback, Peterson, back outside the 30-yard line. Billy Baldus and Charlie Gonzalez in on the tackle. And we see Thousand Oaks calling the timeout. Let's watch a replay of this sack by Billy Baldus. Well, as you can see, that wasn't quite the replay we were looking for, but nonetheless an excellent effort by the production team for Channel 60 Sports. So Thousand Oaks calls a timeout as they set up a 3rd and 16 play. Ball spotted at the 30-yard line of the Olympians. We've got 1:45 to go in the first half. The Olympians trailing by a score of 6-3. And they're looking to make a defensive stand here so that the margin doesn't widen any. Well, let's see if they're up to the task. 3rd and 16 now. Ball spotted at the 30-yard line. Peterson drops back to pass, and there's the pass over the middle, and it's incomplete. Incomplete, almost caught, almost intercepted, finally dropped. Brings up a 4th down for the Lancers now.
For number 21, Jim Magalanis, falls incomplete. Depending on the play for the...
This should be a punting situation for them. If it's a field goal attempt, it's going to be a very long field goal attempt. What would be about 47 yards. And here's a 47-yard field goal attempt coming up by Thousand Oaks. Here's the snap, and they don't attempt it. They hand off on the inside, and it's going to be first down for the Olympians. The Olympians didn't bite on it, and that makes the score stand at 6-3. 1st and 10 for the Olympians. Ball at the 30-yard line. 1:36 to go in the first half, folks. The Olympians with a fine defensive stand to stay within 3. And of course, as long as they're in striking distance, we know that we've got a quick strike team that can hit at any time. Who knows, maybe they can get some more points on before the end of the first half. They pitch the ball back to Marvin Johnson. He looks to pass. He's going for Donnell Bird. Incomplete. Excellent pass by Donnell Bird. Excellent pass by Marvin Johnson. Ball just off the fingertips of Donnell Bird. Makes it a 2nd down and 10 now for the Olympians. Ball still spotted at the 30-yard line. We've got 1.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Olympians trailing by a score of 6-3. 1:30 to go in the first half. Ball spotted at the 30-yard line, 2nd down and 10 for the Olympians. Once again, Zach Odom drops back to pass. Manny Gonzalez goes over the middle, but he's going deep to Burt Best, and Burt Best makes the reception. Now they say it's incomplete. Boy, from this angle, looks like he brought it down, but apparently he didn't. Great throw by Zach Odom, though. Beautiful throw by Zach Odom. From this angle, it looked like Burt Best brought it down, but alas, it falls incomplete. Makes it a 3rd down and 10 for the Olympians now. And one thing about running these 3 passing plays is that the Olympians haven't run very much time off the clock. And unless they convert here, Thousand Oaks will get the ball back with maybe a minute to go in the half. Out of the shotgun formation, Zach drops back to pass again, and this one is going to be intercepted at the 40-yard line. So at the 40-yard line, Thousand Oaks gets the ball with 1:14 to go in the first half. It's going to be 1st and 10. On the interception for Thousand Oaks was number 11, Dave Watts. And now the Olympians have got to play good defense. That series of downs didn't work at all for the Olympians, although you've got to give them an A for effort. 2 very good passes. One pass by Marvin Johnson, another pass by Zach Odom, both just off the fingertips of the receivers. If either one of those that connected, it would have been for big yardage. So now the defense, once again, has arisen to the occasion as they attempt to keep the Lancers out of the end zone with 1:14 to go in the first half. The Olympians trailing by a score of 6-3 in what has been a fairly well-played first half. And if you're an Olympian fan, as I'm sure you are if you're watching this telecast, the Olympians want to stay close, and as long as they can stay close, they've got a heck of an opportunity to win this game and move on to the semifinal rounds.
First down, 10.
So it's a 1st and 10 for Thousand Oaks from their own 40-yard line. They keep the ball on the ground. That's number 33 for Thousand Oaks, and he's finally driven out of bounds, and it's going to be for a big loss. Number 33 for Thousand Oaks is Lindsay. Manny Gonzalez playing excellent defense for the Olympians.
32, a loss of about 9 yards on the play.
Makes it a 2nd down and 20 now for Thousand Oaks. 2nd down 20 for the Lancers. 1:08 to go in the first half. This time Peterson fakes the pass. Peterson rolls left, puts the ball in the air, and it's incomplete. Pass intended for his wide receiver, number 83. That's Jeff Watts.
Jeff Watts, incomplete. 3rd down, still 19. On the play for the Olympians, number 35. Bernie Overton.
Makes it a 3rd down and 19 for Thousand Oaks now. 1:01 to go in the first half, and it looks like the Olympians may get another crack at it. Third down and 19 play, I formation. They keep the ball on the ground. It's going to be stopped after a very short gain. And they signal for it, the Olympians signal for a timeout with 54 seconds. Here we'll see Peterson's pass from 2 plays ago, which fell incomplete. Excellent play by the camera crew tonight. And of course, the camera crew tonight consists of Raul Rubio, Rami Roddy, and Carl Rivas. We say thanks to all these guys for working on the day after Thanksgiving. And by the way, we hope that you all had a very enjoyable Thanksgiving, and we appreciate you joining us here on Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 60 for the best in South Bay sports, featuring the Leuzinger Olympians and the Cougars of Hawthorne High School. Looks like number 19, Donald Bird, back to receive for the Olympians. Thousand Oaks has shown themselves to be a trick play team. Let's see if they go with the punt for sure. And they get it away. Looks like Donnell Bird will have a chance, and he does. Picks up maybe 2 yards on the play. Nonetheless, the ball's out at the, what would appear to be the 42-yard line of the Olympians, so excellent field position. And let's give Donnell Bird a hand for stepping up and taking that punt, because he had 2 Lancers barreling down at him. Here's a pass out in the flat that's going to fall incomplete. Makes it a 2nd down and 10 now for the Olympians. 40 seconds to go in the first half. Second down and 10 now for the Olympians. Ball spotted at their own 43-yard line. They send Donnell Bird wide right. And there's going to be a flag on the play. Delay a game against the Olympians. And that came from a lack of organization. But let's attribute that organization to its proper source. And that's the fact that we've got a lot of guys playing, folks, that don't play in the regular lineup for the Olympians. And that's due primarily to injuries. You see players running on and off the field, not certain of their positions. And one of those is number 33 rather, Kenny Parks. But it's not just Kenny. There are a number of players that are out there that aren't normally in the game in these type of situations for the Olympians. Let's go through a list of some of them that aren't here tonight. Quan Banks for one. Vernell Williams for another. B. John Sample for yet another. 3 very, very good players for the Olympians. And boy, you can only imagine what the Olympian effort would be like if those guys were here playing tonight. But none of them are, but that's the way the cards are dealt sometimes, and you got to go with who's here, and that's what we're going to do, folks. We're going with who's here, and who's here is Zach Odom for one, under center. And Zach Odom drops back to pass. He goes over the middle. He throws his 2nd interception of the night. And with 27 seconds, Thousand Oaks is going to get the ball again. That was number 31 for Thousand Oaks, and that's Steve Rudisell. So the Olympian 2-minute offense has not gotten the job done thus far tonight. And now Thousand Oaks calls a timeout, as they want to see if they can utilize these next 27 seconds to maybe put a score on the board. They've got a long way to go to do it. They've got to go 70 yards, actually 71 yards officially, to get there. Of course, in last week's contest, all the excitement came in the last 5 minutes of that game, so you never can tell what will happen. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Lancers from their own 29-yard line. 27 seconds to go in the first half. Coach Carnes walking off the field right now after the timeout. Timeout, of course, was taken by the Lancers, but both coaches always take the opportunity to talk to their respective units. And I'm sure Carnes is telling this defensive unit, whatever you do, don't let them get behind you. The Lancers keep the ball on the ground. That's number 33 with the carry. He's got some running room. He's going to be finally brought down by Marvin Johnson, but not until he gets into Leuzinger territory at the 48-yard line of the Olympians. There's still 19 seconds left. So the Lancers still mounting a threat here. The Olympian defense has to rise to the task here. You don't want to give up points in this situation this deep into the first half. The quarterback actually lined up under the wrong man. Peterson drops back to pass, and it's incomplete. Stops the clock with 7 seconds left. All right, looks like we're going to have a replay for you, folks. Here you see number 33 for the Lancers with the carry, picking up excellent yardage, finally brought down by Marvin Johnson. Number 33 for the Lancers is Lindsay, of course. As I mentioned, folks, this is our first time seeing these guys tonight, so we aren't that familiar with them, but as best we can, we'll try to match the names and numbers for you. Seven seconds, perhaps the last play. And there's a flag on the play. Looks like it's going to be delay of game against the Lancers. That's going to take them 5 yards back, put them at their own 46-yard line. 7 seconds to go in the first half. Leuzinger back in what would be considered their prevent defense. Peterson brings them up to the line of scrimmage. They're in an I formation. Peterson drops back to pass. No doubt he's looking for the end zone. He goes awfully deep, and it's intercepted by the Olympians. And the clock expires with that. So that'll end the first half. That was Marvin Johnson with the interception. So the first half ends with the score of 6-3. Our Olympians trailing by a field goal. We'll bring the halftime festivities to you. So stay with us right here on Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 60 for the halftime show. Hi, and welcome back for the second half, folks. First half ended with a score of 6-3, with our Leuzinger Olympians on the short end of that score. As you can tell, there was obviously very little scoring. Let me take a second to recap it for you. The visiting Lancers from Thousand Oaks High School scored on a 48-yard TD pass to Lindsay, the wide receiver, at the 2:22 mark of the first quarter, and that made the score 6-0. Their extra point attempt failed as the Leuzinger defense was able to get in there and block it, and the crowd gave them a thunderous ovation for some reason for blocking the extra point attempt, other than the fact that it was a good defensive play. There was no further scoring in the first quarter, and that ended with the Lancers leading by 6-0. Then the Olympians were able to get on the board in the second quarter on a 32-yard field goal by Angel Andrade. And when we ended the first half of play, that's how the score stood. The Olympians 3 points, the visiting Lancers 6. And the Olympians received to open the second half. That's Courtney Overton with the kickoff return. Overton's got some running room. He may go all the way. Everybody's behind him. Courtney Overton goes all the way. Touchdown. And the crowd goes wild, and Courtney Overton is absolutely ecstatic. His teammates rush out to congratulate him. There's no flags on the play. He stands up. It must have been at least an 80-yard kickoff return by Courtney Overton, and just like that, the Olympians jump on top by a score of 9-6 at the 11:47 mark of the third quarter. And you're talking about getting the crowd jacked up and getting back into it in a hurry. That's exactly what happened. The Olympians jumped right back in it. And Angel Andrade's field goal attempt is good. So now the Olympians lead by a score of 10-6. Rufus is right here. Sorry, folks. We're right here collecting myself just like the fans are collecting themselves. And there's a lot of excitement here right now as the Olympians at the 11:47 mark of the third quarter have broken on top on an 80-yard kickoff return by Courtney Overton. And here's the kickoff, and let's see if it carries over to the special teams. Taken by number 24. He heads wide right. He turns up the field. He's got some running room. Finally brought down by a host of Olympians out past the 20, near the 25-yard line. It's a pleasure, folks, to have joined me tonight for some second half commentary. A very good friend of mine and a very good friend of Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 60, my old broadcast partner who's now doing some writing for the Tribune, as well as some other things. On the first down play, the Olympians defense did very well and stop it after a short pickup. But let me get back to what I was saying, folks. I've got in the booth with me right now, Alex Manila, and I'm going to ask Alex if he'll give us a hand here with some of the announcing chores. I know he's doing some other things, but I'd like to get him in on this. This is playoff competition. This may be our last time around this circuit for this year. We're going to hope not, but just in case it is. Makes it a 2nd down and 9 now. Peterson drops back to pass, and there's pursuit, and he's brought down from behind by Charlie Gonzalez. And the Olympians have come out in the second half playing very inspired football. I'm not sure what Coach Carnes and the staff said to them, but whatever they said, they heard it. And folks, we've got ourselves a ball game if you're an Olympian fan, of course. Alex, your comments on what you've seen thus far.
My comments are the Olympian defense has to rise to the occasion. Charlie Gonzalez and Manny Gonzalez both have to put it together. There you see an incompletion, but the Olympians have to prove themselves on their own home field, defensively as well as offensively, and looks like they're getting the job done. And Charlie Gonzalez shows that he can run with the ball 22 yards and 6 carries, and he's got his 3rd sack right there of the ball game.
Great. Can you pass along some other first half stats for us, Alex?
Well, some other statistics that I've came up with is Thousand Oaks rushing. They're number 33. I don't know his name right yet. He's got accumulated most of their yardage, 93 yards on 14 carries. So that's a big chunk right there. The quarterback, now they're going to do a punt. They're going to punt away the ball, and now the Olympians going to have the second chance at the ball.
And Thousand Oaks gets the punt attempt away. Donnell Bird decides to let it just lay there, which was a good decision on his part. So from their own 36-yard line, the Olympians go on offense at the 9:57 mark of the third quarter. They're leading now by a score of 10-6 over the visiting Lancers of Thousand Oaks.
Some other statistics that the fans out there might be a little bit interested in is Zach Odom completed only 3 of 8 passes for 46 yards. However, those 2 interceptions were the only blemishes to his output tonight. Charlie Gonzalez and Manny Gonzalez, Manny with 17 yards and 6 carries. Hopefully we'll see a little bit more production from them on the ground.
1st and 10 for the Olympians. Zach Odom fakes the inside handoff, keeps it himself, picks up very little yardage. Who was subbing for earlier in the season for Marvin Johnson is out tonight with chickenpox?
Yes, that is correct. He's not out there, but hopefully the rest of the offense will pick up from, because Vernell Williams is a big yard gainer for the Olympians, and hopefully they'll pick up for where they left off last week.
2nd down 11 for the Olympians now. Zach Odom pump fakes, pulls it back down, and once again he's going to be dropped for a loss of maybe 2 yards on the play. Zach hasn't been as sharp tonight as we've seen him in other games, as evidenced by the fact that the offense was only able to come out of that first half with a field goal. And quite frankly, during the game last week, we heard a couple of fans in the stands cheering for Burt Best. But of course, Carnes elected to stay with Zach during the whole game. He knows Zach, and he knows what he can do, and he knows he just wasn't playing well, and he wasn't about to desert the young man then. Makes it a 3rd down and 11 for the Olympians now. 8:15 to go in the 3rd quarter. They keep it on the ground, handing it off to Charlie Gonzalez. Charlie Gonzalez got some running room, and he's just tripped up. Just tripped up by one of the Lancers. And if it had not been for that guy, number 11, and we've got a replay here to show you folks on the stop, but you see the handoff to Charlie Gonzalez. Excellent head of steam. Guy catches him right by the ankles. That was number 11 for Thousand Oaks with a touchdown saving tackle, Dave Watts. And now we see Charlie Gonzalez coming off the field under his own steam, but limping nonetheless. It's a 1st down and 10 for the Olympians now. They're in Thousand Oaks territory at the Thousand Oaks 40, what would appear to be the Thousand Oaks 48-yard line. Actually, it's more like the Thousand Oaks 43-yard line, excuse me. 1st and 10, Donnell Burritt goes in motion to the left side. Zach Odom drops back to pass. He likes to turn it upfield. He's got some running room. Finally driven out of bounds over on his side of the field after a very short gain.
Zach Odom attempted to sprint out the right end was dropped for a very low gain. My number 42, Lance Martin, perhaps 2 yards.
Alex, wouldn't you say that the injury situation that the Olympians have had this year with Quan Banks, B. John Sample, Marvin Johnson, and others being out has affected their overall performance?
It sure has, and you can really tell, especially when they played Hawthorne, that Leuzinger really wasn't up to their full strength, and it takes a little bit away from them, even though Leuzinger is a pretty awesome team. Of course, could you imagine them with all together, all the talent put together, could give this team a little bit more competition.
Second down play for the Olympians. Courtney Overton appears to have enough for the 1st down. That was a big... Looks like it's going to be a 3rd down and 2 for the Olympians now. Ball spotted at the 35-yard line of the Lancers. 3rd down and 2 for the Olympians. Zach Odom drops back to pass, pulls it down, picks up the 1st down. Zach's got some running room, looking for some blocking. Finally driven out of bounds, but not until after he picked up the 1st down. And there's a lot of hitting going on, folks, right at the out-of-bound markers. In games earlier this season, I've seen the officials call that late hit, but the officials seem to be pretty conservative with the flags tonight. And they're, as some folks would say, they're letting them play, and that's okay, but let's keep it clean and legal. And thus far, there have been at least 2 hits that were right at the out-of-bound markers that weren't called. And Zach Odom signals for a timeout. That's Leuzinger's 1st of the 2nd half.
One thing, Rufus, that the Olympians are going to have to capitalize on is take advantage of their talent. So one thing that the Olympians gain with all these injuries is that it gives the 2nd and 3rd stringers a chance. The people that don't get too much credit get in there and get some playing time, and that's where Marvin Johnson right now is showing off that even though he's hurt, he's going back in there to play. And it gives the Charlie Gonzalez's and the B. John Samples that really weren't starting, gives them a chance to get some playing time and get noticed and add on to that depth that the Olympians need. And right now they're going to need some big yardage off of Odom, Zach Odom's scrambling ability, and Charlie Gonzalez going to have to break something open. Just like they got that lead, it can't hold up too long because Thousand Oaks is the number 1 ranked team, and they show it because they're able to beat teams down when it counts.
Alex, do you have any idea what the quarterback situation looks like for the Olympians next year with Zach being a senior this year?
At the moment, I don't really know. Last year, they had a sophomore quarterback that led the team pretty well, and I think that's Donald Byrd. So they might be using him in there next year to throw the ball.
On the 1st down play, Charlie Gonzalez goes around left side, picks up about 3 yards on the play, makes it a 2nd down and 7 for the Olympians. Now the clock's rolling at the 6:25 mark of the 3rd quarter. The Olympians leading by a score of 10-6. after trailing at halftime by a score of 6-3. And of course, that touchdown came on an 80-yard kickoff return by Courtney Overton to start the second half. Manny Gonzalez gets the call. Manny Gonzalez picks up good yardage on the play. Manny's going to be close to a first down. It will depend on the official spot. And it's a first and goal for the Olympians. So the Olympians are in excellent field position right now. First and goal for the Olympians as they're inside the 10-yard line. The nose of the ball must be just inside the 10, judging from where the sideline markers are. On the first down play, they hand it to Charlie Gonzalez. Charlie goes around left side, and he's met by a host of Lancers. 5:25 to go in the third quarter. Leuzinger leading by a score of 10-7 after trailing throughout the first half, finally drawing as close as 6-3 at the end of the half. They now lead by that margin of 10-7, as we said. And they're threatening once again. They keep it on the ground once again. And it's going to be stopped for a very short gain. There was Manny Gonzalez on the carry. Makes it a third down and goal to go now for the Olympians. Ball is spotted officially at the 5-yard line. So Leuzinger knocking at the door at the 4:30 mark of the third quarter. And what? The ball was snapped. No one was there. Boy, you talk about lack of organization. This is the most absurd thing that I've ever seen this year. Zach Odom had walked to the side as Marvin Johnson was coming on the field. He was about 10 yards off of center. The ball was snapped to no one. Marvin Johnson had the presence of mind to get on it and cover it. And now the Olympians will have to attempt a field goal. The ball is spotted at the 25. It's going to be a 35-yard field goal attempt. The snap's high. The kick's up. And it's good. Angel Andrade is 2 for 2. And he bails the Olympians out of a most embarrassing set of offensive plays here with a 35-yard field goal. So with the 3:41 mark of the third quarter, the Olympians extend their lead to 13-6. They're at the 5-yard line, and a bad breakdown by the Olympian offense caused them to have to end up with a field goal attempt. And now here's Angel Andrade's kickoff coming up. Back to receive is number 24. He drops the ball, finally picks it up at the goal line. He turns upfield. He's got some running room. Angel Andrade and Zach Odom are the only two people out there. Zach Odom makes a touchdown-saving tackle. That was Zach Odom who brought him down at the 41-yard line.
Number 1, Zach Odom. It'll be Lancers ball, first down, 10 yards to go on the...
And we see the kickoff return replay coming up here. You see number 24 there taking the ball for the Lancers. He's got a good running room, and as you can see, you'll see Zach Odom come into the picture as the only person who could stop him. Excellent, excellent defensive work by Zach Odom. Peterson drops back the pass, hands it off instead to number 33, who still dropped for a loss on the play. That was Lindsey, who was dropped for a loss of about 6 yards. Looks like they're marking off more like 10 yards.
Second down, about 19.
They're calling it a 2nd and 19. as the ball goes back to the 33-yard line. Let's call it the 34-yard line of Thousand Oaks. On the first and 19 play, Peterson drops back to pass, throws in the flat, and it's incomplete.
It looks like the third quarter is all Olympian quarter right now. They seem to have the momentum they're going. The defense is doing their job and forcing Thousand Oaks to throw or just come up with some, with their back against the wall type of option plays. So it looks like, so far right now, it looks like the Olympians have the momentum, and let's see if they can hold on to it in the fourth and final quarter.
That was a big offensive mistake, Alex, down at their end of the field when I'm not sure what happened there. The ball was snapped with nobody home, and that was almost a major turnover for the Olympians, but they survived it and pulled the field goal out of it. They keep the ball on the ground. This time, number 31 has the carry, and here comes a late flag. Looks like it's going to be a late hit against the Olympians. I'm almost certain that's what it's going to be. And if it is, that's going to give Thousand Oaks the first down. And more importantly, it's going to take the ball into Olympian territory at the Olympian 44-yard line. And the crowd disagrees with that call.
Leuzinger 44-yard line.
A very untimely call, to say the least, against the Olympians. And with everything that the officials had let go so far tonight, I must admit I'm a little surprised by it. Here comes the pursuit, and Peterson, in an attempt to avoid the sack, just throws it out in the flat for number 33, Lindsay, but it falls incomplete. Alex, did you cover the Hawthorne game last week?
Yes, I sure did. It was a 33-28 upset by San Marcos. They came over here and beat Hawthorne and eliminated them from the playoffs.
And that certainly had to be considered an upset, considering San Marcos came into the game with a 5-5 record. Now back to regular action with a little spin move. Peterson picks up excellent yardage on the play as he gets down to about the 34-yard line of the Olympians. We've got 2:02 to go in the third quarter. The Olympians leading by a score of 13-6. Thousand Oaks marching though. Here you see the replay where Peterson did a little spin move, kept the ball himself, picked up excellent yardage on it, finally brought down by number 44, Manny Gonzalez. Now back to live action. They pitch it back to number 33, Lindsay. There's a fumble on the play. And Lindsay falls on his own fumble. Ball came loose. A couple of Olympians around it. And with the luck of the Irish, Lindsay was able to recover it himself. It's going to make it a second down and 17 for Thousand Oaks now, as they lost about 7 yards on the play. So thus far, Leuzinger's effort tonight has been all defense and special teams, as the offense has been unable to get on track. Let's see if the defense can rise one more time. Once again, the ball is kept on the ground. Number 31 has running room, and he's finally brought down, but not until after he's picked up a first down. And the Olympian defenders must learn not to let up on the play until the carrier is actually down. Too many times they're hitting the guy at the line of scrimmage thinking that he's going to fall just because they hit him, and the guy keeps going. That guy was stopped at the line of scrimmage and picked up the necessary yardage on second effort alone. It's 1st and 10 now for Thousand Oaks from the Leuzinger 19-yard line. Once again, they keep the ball on the ground. There's a fumble, and they're saying the official is saying it was on the ground. The official is saying that it was on the ground, though. Thousand Oaks will keep possession of the ball. The ball was fumbled. However, they said the ground caused the fumble. Therefore, Thousand Oaks retains possession. Here we see on the replay the handoff to number 42. The balls are loose there. I'm not entirely sure that was the correct call. However, that's the one that'll stand. Say second down and 10. And the third quarter expires. Fans, we got 12 more minutes, and the Olympians right now are 12 minutes away from advancing to the semifinals of the 1989 CIF Southern Section playoffs. But before they do that, they're going to have to stop a very talented Thousand Oaks team, a team that came into the game with a overall record of 10-0-1. Not to be taken lightly, they were champions of the Marmont League, and right now they're threatening, they're knocking that Leuzinger's door. And a touchdown certainly draws them within a point and with an opportunity to even go for two and take the lead. So Leuzinger's defense must rise to the occasion here as the fourth quarter starts. Alex, your thoughts?
I think you're actually right that the Olympians, just because they had a big third quarter, doesn't mean they can sit back and sit on their 7-point lead. They're going to have to put together a last quarter just like they did their third, and hopefully put together a shutout in this final quarter to come away with a victory. If they don't, then they're ousted from the playoffs.
So here's the first down play. Peterson drops back to pass. He throws behind his receiver, Lindsey. Drops incomplete. That'll make it a second down and 10 now. The ball is spotted at about the 18-yard line of the Olympians. If I said second and 10, I'm sorry, I meant third and 10, folks. Third down and 10 for the Lancers now. Ball spotted at the 18-yard line of the Olympians. Once again, the defense is being called upon to knuckle down and stop yet another drive by the Lancers. They keep it on the ground this time. A reverse handoff. Number 21 has a carry, but he's going to be short of the first down as he goes out of bounds at about the 10-yard line. Needed to get to about the 8. Makes it a fourth down and 2 for the Lancers. Let's see what they call here. We've got 11:35 to go in the contest. Leuzinger leading by a score of 13-6. And the Lancers use one of their timeouts. So both teams have burned one timeout here in the second half, and they've got 2 to go. And this is shaping up for what may come down to the last series of downs for either team. Leuzinger defense, though, thus far has held up pretty well under the circumstances. It's a fourth down and 3 when we come back to action for the Lancers from the Leuzinger. Looks like the ball is at about the Leuzinger 11-yard line. Alex, how is it decided, or do you know, in terms of how the home field is determined? You would have thought that Thousand Oaks, with the better record, would have had the game at their field instead of having to travel to a team with a lesser record. Here's the fourth down play. We'll come back to that. They pick up the first down. So it's going to be a first and goal now for Thousand Oaks.
Picks up about 6 yards. Lancers ball,
First and goal for the Lancers.
4-yard line. On the tackle for the Olympians, number 67.
They spot the ball officially at the 4-yard line of the Olympians. And now Leuzinger is hustling to get players off the field. Once again, there's this organization. They finally get them off. There's a flag on the play as number 67 didn't get off in time. And number 67 for the Olympians is Jim Justice. And, of course, that's not all Jim's fault. His substitute didn't get there in time, and Jim didn't know to come off until the very last second. And Jim's a pretty big fella, and that's about a 35-yard sprint from the middle of the field to the sideline. Or more like 20 yards, I should say. Nonetheless, Jim didn't make it in time. So I'm sure they'll mark it half the distance to the goal.
Leuzinger penalized for illegal participation half the distance.
The officials called it illegal participation. I thought that anybody that's suited up can play. I think what he should have called was too many men on the field. That does give them an opportunity now to get their defense set. So the defense is backed up against its own goal line. The ball is spotted at the 2-yard line. 1st and goal for Thousand Oaks. They keep it on the ground. Number 44 gets the call. Still no sign. The Thousand Oaks players are signaling touchdown, and now the officials signal touchdown. So at the 10:43 mark of the 4th quarter, Thousand Oaks draws to within a point. I think it's reasonable to expect that Thousand Oaks may go for 2 points here. They're lining up for the extra point attempt. They're trailing by a point. They mixed the extra point in the 1st quarter. The defense tries to get in there. The kick is up, and it's no good. It's no good. No good. Leuzinger holds on to a 1-point lead. 13-12, 10:43 to go, and they'll be receiving the kickoff. Boy, you talk about dodging a bullet there. The Olympians really dodged one, and now they hang on to a slim 1-point lead. But you don't have to win by much. You only got to win by 1. And right now, that 1 looks awfully good to the Leuzinger faithful. And here's the kickoff. This time they squib kick it, and the upbacks for the Olympians fall on the ball. And the Olympians, that was number 76. Who had to fall on the ball for the Olympians, and the young man made a very smart play. Let's give him credit for that. That was John Guilfoyle. Good play, John. They tried to squib kick. They didn't want to kick it to Courtney Overton or Zach Odom, but they give the Leuzinger offense the ball in excellent field position. Ball appears to be at about the 44-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Olympians. Zach Odom fakes the pass. Zach Odom's got some running room. Zach turns the ball up. He picks up about 5 yards on the play. Takes the ball across midfield. It's going to make it a 2nd down and 4 for the Olympians. Folks, we've got 10 minutes to go. The Olympians are 10 minutes away from moving to the semifinals. But in order to do that, they're going to have to defeat a very, very good Thousand Oaks team. This time out of an I formation. Zach Odom under center. Zach Odom keeps the ball himself. He pulls it down. He's going to pick up about 2 yards on the play. Carrying the ball very, very loosely. Fortunate to get away without a turnover in that situation. It's going to be a 3rd down and 2 for the Olympians now. Ball spotted at the 47-yard line of the Lancers, who've made the trip down to Lawndale from Thousand Oaks, California. 3rd down and 2 now for the Olympians. Once again, they're in the I formation. Zach Odom keeps it himself, and he's going to be stopped short of the 1st down. It's going to make it a 4th and 1 for the Olympians, and this looks like a go-for situation. No, I see Angel Andrade coming on the field. Of course, with some of the plays we've seen tonight, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to kick it. Now they're going to punt it, and the way the backs are lining up, looks like Marvin Johnson may be the short man here. Let's keep an eye on this. The Olympians burn another timeout. This is not good at all, and Coach Carnes has some very strong words for number 33 as he comes off the field, and that was Kenny Parks. Kenny Parks, of course, is a 5'8", 144-pound junior, and in all fairness to Kenny Parks, he's not seeing a lot of light this season. And so the young man is being thrust into a tough situation here when you're in the playoffs and these games count for everything. Remember, you know, you win, you go on, you lose, you go home. Alex, your thoughts?
Well, I want to get back to the question you threw at me earlier, which was how in the CIF did Leuzinger ended up getting the home field tonight. And the reason why was because Thousand Oaks beat Palmdale in the first round. They were the home team there. So Leuzinger went on the road to play Buena and won. They ended up getting the berth for the home team here. If they win and play the winner of San Marcos and Muir, it will be a coin flip at a neutral site.
So now we see Angel Andrade's punt attempt coming up, and he does punt the ball, in fact. The ball takes a Leuzinger bounce, and it's going to finally be downed inside the 20-yard line. They spot it officially at the 15-yard line. So at the 8:14 mark of the fourth quarter, Leuzinger, leading by a score of 13-12, goes on defense against a very determined Thousand Oaks football team. First and 10 for Thousand Oaks from the 15-yard line. To keep the ball on the ground, that's number 33 with the carry. Zach Odom finally bulldogs him out of bounds, but not until after he's picked up 3, maybe 4 yards on the carry. Boy, they give him a whole 8 on that. I thought he went out of bounds a lot sooner than that, but that'll make it a 2nd down and 2 now for Thousand Oaks. The ball spotted outside the 20. Here we see on the replay Lindsey coming right to you and right in front of you. Excellent camera work as Lindsey's wrapped up in the camera cords of Channel 60 Sports. That's Raul Rubio down on the sideline camera.
Ball foul.
And there's a flag on the play. Illegal procedure against Thousand Oaks, so that's going to back them up 5 yards on the play. That takes them now back to their 17-yard line. 2nd down and 7 for Thousand Oaks. 2nd down and 7 for Thousand Oaks. Ball at the 17-yard line. They keep it on the ground, giving it to Lindsey. Lindsey's got running room, and he's finally brought down from behind, but not until after he's picked up a 1st down. And folks, I think if you haven't figured it out by now, Lindsey is one of the main ball carriers for Thousand Oaks, and it certainly do us a whole lot of good if we start to key on the guy. Let's look at the replay here. You see Lindsey coming right at you with a good head of steam. Once again, excellent camera work by the fine production crew at Channel 60 Sports. Out of I formation, who do they hand it to? You guessed it, Lindsey. This time, though, the Olympians aren't fooled, and they stop him. Looks like it's going to be for no gain. That's going to make it a 2nd down and 10 now. Actually, a loss of 1 on the play makes it a 2nd down and 11 for Thousand Oaks. I tell you, boy, if there's money in the Leuzinger budget next year, I'd strongly request that they do something to improve the condition of the field, the way it's marked. It makes it awfully difficult for us to call the game properly for you folks, because we can barely see the yard stripes. Here's a pass out in the flat. It's going to be incomplete. It's going to be a 3rd down and 10 now. 6:48 to go. Leuzinger holding on desperately to a 1-point lead. Third down and 10 facing Thousand Oaks. Peterson drops back to pass. He's under heavy pursuit. Gets it away. Almost caught, almost intercepted. Brings up a 4th down play. And that's Marvin Johnson of the Olympians, who almost made the big interception. But the key here is that the Leuzinger defense was able to hold and force a 4th down situation. Here you see on the replay, Peterson dropping back to pass over the middle, almost caught, almost intercepted. 4th down nonetheless. And the kick is away. It's an excellent kick. Donald Byrd takes it and fumbles it. And Thousand Oaks recovers. Folks, at the 6:34 mark, a big turnover by the Olympians. Donald Byrd fumbles the punt. Thousand Oaks gets the ball inside the 30-yard line at the Leuzinger 29-yard line. And all of a sudden, you can hear a pin drop on the Leuzinger side of the field. We're going to try to bring that replay to you, folks. Here you see Donald Byrd back to receive. He never got a handle on the ball. Number 25 coverage for Thousand Oaks, and they've got the ball in great field position. Here's a handoff to number 45, and he's brought down by the collar from behind. And you talk about big plays, folks. That's got to go down in the books as one of the big plays of 1989. Leuzinger holding on to a 1-point lead. Thousand Oaks threatening as they're in Leuzinger territory and moving from behind. Number 33 is going to be brought down by Billy Baldus, it looks like. But Billy Baldus couldn't stop him until he picked up a 1st down. It's a 1st and 10 for Thousand Oaks now. Let's see where the ball spotted at. They spotted officially. Looks like what is about the 25-yard line. No, excuse me, I'm sorry. They're inside the 20, closer to the 15 of the Olympians. The crowd calling, asking for the defense. Billy Baldus with a big hit there on Lindsay. Ball's at the 20-yard line of the Olympians. We've got 5 minutes to go and the clock moving in the 4th quarter. Leuzinger holding on to a 1-point lead. 2nd down and 12 for Thousand Oaks. Ball at the Leuzinger 20-yard line. Leuzinger defense needing to rise to the occasion. Thousand Oaks hands the ball off. The guy should have been down, and he is. He is. And there's a loss of about 2 more yards on the play. And now there's an injured player on the field for Thousand Oaks. And boy, their medical crew was three young ladies I saw to come out there to attend to him. And that's, if you're down hurt and if you look up and see 3 pretty faces, that's bound to make you feel better real quick, Alex.
It sure is. It's going to wake anybody up. But right now, what Thousand Oaks is hoping for, and they're glad that they're not on defense right now, because that's what they would be if Donald Byrd would have got that ball. If he would have got the ball and not fumbled it, the Olympians would be chewing up the clock. They'd be about midfield by now, and they'd have to be worried about the last 3 minutes coming back with the ball. But fortunately for the Lancers, they have the ball. They are threatening. They're within field goal distance, but their kicker hasn't had a good night tonight. So you think about Lancers keeping it on the ground and hoping to get that 1st down.
Very good analysis, Alex. It's a real pleasure to have you working with me tonight. Let's set the table for you, folks. We're in the 4th quarter. There are 4 minutes, 34 seconds left. Leuzinger leading by a score of 13-12. And you see a real act of sportsmanship, and I want to make this commentary right now. The Leuzinger fans giving a round of applause to the injured Lancer as he went off the field. And that's real sportsmanship, and the Leuzinger fans should be proud of themselves. It's a 3rd down and 16 for Thousand Oaks. Ball spotted about the 24-yard line. They keep it on the ground, giving it number 31. He's got a mile of running room. He's got a 1st down, a absolute breakdown by the Leuzinger defense. And they scored a touchdown. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. And there's a mix-up on the field.
What the hell you doing?
There's a complete mix-up on the field. The officials go over to the Thousand Oaks side to explain something to them. It's not a touchdown, first of all.
Correction, evidently, there was no touchdown.
It's a first and goal, though. And once again, they keep him out of the end zone.
Appears to be very close, however, there is no signal. It'll be second down, goal.
It's going to be second and goal for Thousand Oaks. Second down and goal from the 2-yard line for Thousand Oaks. Leuzinger once again having to defend the onslaught of the Thousand Oaks offense. And when you're 10-0-1, folks, you aren't there for nothing. And now the Leuzinger defense is being called upon to try to hold on to a 1-point lead. And it's awfully tough. Once again, the ball's on the ground. Once again, it's going to be stopped short. It's going to make it a third down and goal now. The defense hanging tough. No matter what, you got to give them a lot of credit tonight because all the points that are on the board have come from Leuzinger's special teams and their defensive effort primarily. Added to that, 2 Angel Andrade field goals. Under 3 minutes now to go in the contest. Third and goal for Thousand Oaks. Leuzinger bunched up at the line of scrimmage. Once again, it's on the ground, and once again, he's stopped. He's stopped. Fourth down. There's the signal. The official signal is fourth down for Thousand Oaks. And let's see what the decision is here. A big, big decision for the Thousand Oaks coaching staff. And they're going to signal for a timeout, as you might expect, at the 2:29 mark, because this could be the season. Folks, let's set the table. It's fourth and goal from the 1-yard line, 2:29 to go in the contest. Thousand Oaks has the ball. They're knocking at the door. They've got to make a decision now. Do you go for the field goal, which would put them up by a score of 15-13, but leave Leuzinger in the striking distance of a field goal by Angel Andrade, or do they go for the touchdown and try to force the Olympians to have to go the length of the field to get a touchdown in order to win the contest with very little time remaining? Alex, your thoughts here?
Our thoughts here are exactly, it's a coaching game right now. It's all like a game of chess. One man has the controls, and that's the head coach for Thousand Oaks. Right now, what he's thinking of is that the Leuzinger defense has held them down 3 times in a row. Didn't let them cross the goal line. They know they're within the kicking distance, but I don't know if they have enough confidence in their kicker. It looks like they're going to keep it on the ground and go for the 6 points.
Here's the effort. The defense is up at the line of scrimmage. We're going to see it. There it is. And the signal is touchdown. Touchdown, Thousand Oaks. 1-yard touchdown, play number 44 on the carry. And the Olympians find themselves trailing by a score of 18-13 with the extra point attempt coming up. And now the Leuzinger side of the field is really quiet, as you might expect. But they'll have one more shot at it. And all of this, of course, was set up by Donnell Bird's fumble of the punt return attempt. And it looks like they're going to go for 2 here. They're going for a 2-point conversion. They keep it on the ground. They throw it in the air, and it doesn't work. So the Olympians can win this game on a touchdown and an extra point attempt. But they're going to have to play the best offense they've played all night in order to accomplish that. So, the Olympians with 2:25 perhaps left in their season Need to get the offense untracked in order to get the lead back in this game. Back to receiver number 35, Courtney Overton, and number 1 is Zach Odom. The last time they squib kicked it, they squib kick it again, and this time the up man falls on it, and Leuzinger's going to have the ball. That's John Gilfold again. So Leuzinger gets the ball at the 47-yard line. Thousand Oaks perhaps makes a very major mistake there. No reason at all not to kick the ball. The way you got the lead, you want to pin them deep in your territory. And now it's 1st and 10 for the Olympians, and they're in excellent field position, but they got to work, and they got to work fast. They keep the ball on the ground. They pick up maybe 2 yards on the play. That's Manny Gonzalez. The crowd a little mystified at the play calling selection here as the clock continues to roll. 1:50 to go in the contest. 2nd down and 8 for the Olympians. Zach Odom drops back to pass. Zach Odom pulls it down. Zach Odom is sacked. Zach Odom is dropped for a loss at the 45-yard line. And now he signals for a timeout with 1.5 minutes to go. It's going to be third and 11 for the Olympians. Actually, more like 3rd and 13 for the Olympians. And right now, folks, there's 1.5 minutes left in the Leuzinger Olympian season. And unless they can come up with something big here, and of course we know they can, they just got to do it. This season's going to come to an end. But if it does, it certainly is one that the Olympians can still be proud of. But we aren't going to start sounding the death knell yet. We're going to wait the whole 1:31 to see what happens, or at least until we run out of downs.
And right now, Leuzinger coach Steve Carnes is going in there, reaching deep in his bag of tricks, hoping to come up with an air game or a big yardage play on the ground that'll get him at least to the 44-yard line of Thousand Oaks territory. They need to get 12 yards here. This could be it. 2 more plays, and that could be it for the Olympian season. But then again, you got to look at it on the bright side. These Olympians gave the #1 team in the Division II the best game, the hardest fought game they've had in the playoffs, probably in the whole season. They weren't expected to last this close, and I think that's where you got to give the Olympians a lot of credit.
So we come back to live action. 3rd down and 12 for the Olympians. Zach Odom dropping back to pass. He's got some time. He hits a man in the flat, and is brought down from behind. Marvin Johnson had some real estate in front of him, but the defense got there. It's a 4th down play for the Olympians. They've got no choice but to go with it. Clock's rolling, 1:13. We see Zach Odom over to the sideline trying to get the play. The clock is still rolling. You need to do something as we're approaching under a minute here. And Leuzinger tonight, folks, I got to say it. I don't like reporting it, but I am a reporter. They have played absolutely poorly tonight. They were lucky to be in this situation. 4th down for the Olympians. Odom's got the ball. He needs to throw it. He's under heavy pursuit. He's got some running room. He may get there. It's going to be awfully doggone close, and he does. Zach Odom gets there. It would appear that Zach got the 1st down. 36 seconds left. Zach Odom runs for the 1st down. The Olympians are still alive, but just by a thread, folks. Just by a thread, the Olympian effort is still alive. 1st and 10 for the Olympians. 36 seconds to go in the contest. The ball spotted at the 43-yard line of Thousand Oaks. Leuzinger's got to get in the end zone to win the game. There's no 2 ways about it. Here's a pass out in the flat, and it's incomplete as it goes over to the football track. But it does stop the clock with 33 seconds left and perhaps give the Olympians time to collect themselves. Coach Carnes is shuttling plays in. Number 10, Burt Best, now comes in with the play for Zach Odom, along with Marvin Johnson. Number 43, Charlie Gonzalez, comes off the field. Come on, guys, get together. You got to get organized. Call the play and let's run it. I've never, in the 3 years of covering Leuzinger, seen them operate as inefficiently as they've operated tonight. They've played absolutely poorly offensively. I hate to say it, but that's the way it is. But nonetheless, they still got a shot at winning this thing. Odom is dropping back the pass. He's giving it all he's got. And boom! Donnell Byrd just drops the ball. Excellent play off the hands of Donnell Byrd. Boy, it would have been a big play. Almost there. But almost doesn't count. Now we got 25 seconds left. And there's a timeout on the field. Thousand Oaks has signaled for a timeout. 3rd down and 10 for the Olympians. And we don't understand that play at all. Thousand Oaks giving Leuzinger an opportunity to collect themselves for the 3rd down play. But of course, by the same token, you got to admit that the coach may not have liked what he saw on that defensive effort when Donnell Byrd got behind the defensive backs who were obviously in a prevent defense. That should never, ever happen. The offensive player should always be in front of you, and I think that upset him. While we got a second, folks, with only 25 seconds to go in the contest, let me take this opportunity to say thanks to all the production crew that's worked with us throughout the season, particularly tonight. Tonight's effort was directed from the truck by Mike Corey. Of course, Mike Galarza is the executive producer and executive director of Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 60. Working with us tonight was Raul Rubio, Rami Roddy, Carl Rivas. And here's the 3rd down play for the Olympians. 3rd and goal. Once again, Zach drops back the pass. He gets the pass away. And the official signaled that Zach was down back at the midfield stripe. There are 14 seconds left in the Olympian season. 4th and 10 from the midfield stripe. It's down to 8 seconds. 5 seconds. 4. This is the Olympians' last effort here. And it's going for the end zone. Zach puts the ball up, and it's intercepted as it should end. And folks, that's the end of the season for the Leuzinger Olympians. The fans will go home disappointed tonight. We lose by a score of 18-13 on 2 fourth-quarter scores by Thousand Oaks. They've won. They'll go on to the semifinals of the 1989 CIF Southern Section playoffs. And for the 3rd year in a row, the Leuzinger Olympians fail to get past the 2nd round. And of course, there's a lot of disappointment here. There are a lot of teary eyes. But folks, you got to be proud of your team. If the truck will allow me a few minutes just to recap the season, along with Alex Manila, who's here with me in the booth. We saw a lot of the season. Leuzinger early on started out very good, ranked number 2, number 3 in most polls in the South Bay. But they suffered a rash of injuries, and that affected their offensive effort all season. And tonight, with the loss of even more players, it appeared that that affected the Leuzinger offense tremendously, Alex.
I think so too. That you got to top that off to be the big shot in the arm. The Olympians lost a lot of key players that would have gave the CIF a little bit more chance to rank the Olympians up a little higher. Although you got to give the Olympians a lot of credit is that they represent the Bay League tonight, being the only team. Santa Monica was blown out. Hawthorne was beat. PV was out of it. Leuzinger, of all teams, the only team to survive. So you got to give them credit. They represented the Bay League very well, giving this top-ranked team their money's worth. And hey, they always got next year.
So Leuzinger concludes their season with an overall record of 8-3-1, losing in the quarterfinals of the CIF Southern Section playoffs to a very talented number 1 ranked Thousand Oaks team by a score of 18-13. The team put up a valiant effort, but as I said, the accumulation of injuries over the course of the season, a lot of guys were playing tonight who hadn't been called on to play, and Vernell Williams, who had filled in so capably, ended up contracting the chicken pox, I've heard, and he was out. So every week it seemed like another player was out, another key player, and that caused Coach Carnes to have to adjust his strategy almost daily. And with that, the Olympians just couldn't overcome the injuries. So So with that, their season is drawn to an end. But it was a good one nonetheless, as they were the final team in the Bay League to bow out of playoff competition. For Rufus Washington at Channel 60 Sports, let me once again say to you that all of these productions this season have been brought to you by Mike Galarza as the executive producer, Mike Corey, Bill Barnes, Raul Rubio, Tom Strickfatten, Brian Baxter, Rami Roddy, Carl Rivas. It's a pleasure for me to have worked with all these guys in this, my third season. And as you know, Channel 60 Sports covers a variety of sports featuring Leuzinger and Hawthorne. Some of our other sports will be softball, baseball, track and field, basketball. We're going to give extensive coverage to this year. So we want you to stay right here with us at Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 60 throughout the course of the sports season. Alex, what are you doing sports-wise these days?
Sports-wise right now that there's no more football, I went and interviewed Hawthorne's basketball team this afternoon. I'm talking to Inglewood's tomorrow and Leuzinger's basketball. So now the basketball season's in. Now that's what everybody wants to read about is basketball season. So after basketball comes baseball and softball, then back to football again.
Thanks for joining us once again, Alex. It's been a real pleasure being with you. For Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 60, the final one more time. The Lancers from Thousand Oaks, California, 18. The home team, Leuzinger Olympians, go down to defeat with 13 points. I'm Rufus Washington for Channel 60 Sports. It's been a pleasure being with you, and we hope you'll join us again sometime in the future right here on Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 60. Good night now.